warm welcome and a big namaste to all of you out there. Today, let us talk on Rahu in the ninth house. Rahu in the ninth house. As we'll see, Rahu in the ninth house gives a person a strong need to develop a personal belief and a psychological system. So, harsh speech, unrest, traveling to different countries, confusions, suspicions, gambling, intelligence. Yes, Rahu in ninth house can give a person a very different form of intelligence, especially as it relates to your religious beliefs, your beliefs towards your elders. High speed winds because Rahu denotes the air. Worship of Ma Durga. Anybody who is interested in getting a remedial measure done, doing the remedial for Durga Devi on Wednesday evenings works fabulously for Rahu. Influential, enemy of the luminaries. Influential, smoky in complexion, smoky in behavior, likes to shield things and hide facts. It is drugs, be it recreational or be it medicinal. Rahu is illusions personified and it denotes a lot of selfish attitude in a person. The ninth house is also called the Bhagya or the Dharma, and it is also the house of the father, the fortune, the grace that is bestowed onto us. The Jupiter and Sun are said to be the planets that are the Karaka of the ninth house. The body part that the ninth house denotes is the thighs and the hips. And we can time Guru Diksha and certain times also sudden death from the ninth house. The family members that this house encompasses is quite huge. Father, Guru, son and grandson, that is the children in general and the grandchildren, brother's wife, wife's brother, children, grandchildren. Here we will take that as brothers or sisters, spouse, and spouse's brother or sister. Fourth, younger brother or sister. Religious life, wisdom, philosophy, meditation, intuition, and forethought is the mental makeup of this house. Social status is association with good people. In its financial aspect, fortune, charity, unexpected gains, help from government officials can be seen from the ninth house. Proneness in communication with the outer world, that is, communication with the higher self, is denoted by the ninth house. Career here is higher education. The ninth house denotes luck, faith. In south of India, it is denoted as the house of father. It actually also means the inheritance from father. It is the good luck and also the bad luck. If this house is afflicted, it would definitely show bad luck. Relation with paternal and maternal uncles, aunts, or cousins. This house shows relations with spouses and siblings or siblings figures. There is an involvement of ancestral inheritance that includes the father and the mother from both. Harassment or torture from the spouse of self or by brother, sister, cousins of the spouse can be seen if there is an issue in the ninth house. Also, the partition of assets, properties, if there's a loss or gain, or if person wants to leave the property totally, that too can be seen from the ninth house. A lot of things of them, devotion and to religion, devotion to faith, spiritualism, donation to certain institutes, misuse of religious faith, ideals, principles, hidden activities, some religious or spiritual formation, organization, sect, cult, religious group can be worked under this ninth house when we are making a formation or forming a different group as such. Creating or establishing religious order, a religious sect, a cult, education or social welfare group, any medical or welfare organization. Generous or miserly attitude towards one's own kith and kin, whether be it of the self or the spouse, a person's last wishes, the will of a person, and the sermons of a person are all represented by the ninth house. The first example that we take in here is that of Adam Douglas, a British science fiction writer known for his wacky book known as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This book was written by him, as told by himself, that when he was drunk in Austria, lying down, looking up into the sky and gazing at the stars, and having a book in his hand known as Hitchhiker's Guide to Europe, he realized that a book had to be written about the stars and the galaxy, and he named his book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. His preceptor, his guru, his mentor in college, in school, was an English teacher who rarely gave full marks. Getting a 10 out of 10 in his class was a landmark for Adam Douglas, and he never forgot that, especially when he had a writer's block. That is what he says. This book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, turned into a book which sold 1.4 million copies around the world. It was a cult book in 1979, and it became a mini series also. It had many sequels, and this book generated a kind of feather in people, and this was all about time travel. This was so much connected to the ninth house. It was all about the outer world, the connection to time travel. It was about musical theory, quantum mechanism, and computer modeling, many other things, and about galaxies, the outer world at large. We see Rahu right there in the ninth house for him. This again is the ninth house of Aquarius. Aquarius, we all know, is scientific explanations, scientific theories, scientific research, and so much more gains. We will discuss more about Rahu in the ninth house for Adam Douglas when we do that at the end of all the examples. A word that needs to be mentioned more here is that in his own terms, he was called an atheist. One of the well-known scientist goes along to call him, Adam Douglas, his mentor, that the world lost a great atheist, a great innovative person, a person who loved the environment and cared for its beings. Adam Douglas loved fast cars, was a conservationist, an environmentalist, and in his own words, an atheist to the core. The next example for us is Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, we all know, was an American lawyer, politician, and the President of United States. He was one of the most respected figures in history and one of the most famous leaders of the United States, and he held the office of presidency from 1961 to 1965. Lincoln's dad, Thomas, was a farmer and carpenter. His mom, Nancy Hanks, died in 1918 when he was just 9 years of age. He was very attached to his stepmother, whom he later started addressing as mother. His sister, Sarah, also died in childbirth when she was just 20 years of age. Lincoln was one of those youth who liked public speaking, and he would climb onto stumps near a store in Gentryville. He would hold speeches and jokes there. He entertained his entertainment-staffed neighbors and relatives by gathering them. He was a very witty person as such. He disliked physical labor, or so everybody thought, and he was always writing, reading, happy scribbling things down. He was a very fair lad, and he had his issues with his father. The ninth house, as we know, also denotes the father. The ninth house here is Libra. Libra is a sign of balance. He had an issues with his father. He started distancing himself, moving away from his father after he was 21, 22, because it is said that he did not understand why his father did not go in for an education. He was a very dynamic person. However, he had a depressive state of mind, probably because of all the losses that he saw in his life early on and later. He lost his mother very early in life. He had also lost his only sister quite early in life. Also, the loss of three children for him was quite much to take. In fact, just before he was killed, he wanted his wife to and himself to be happy, merry, and out of that melancholy state of mind. He has been known to have been asking friends and colleagues whether they could talk to the dead. In fact, with the loss of his younger son, he went on to say that he always conversed with his son, assuming that his son was nearby with him. So that is the connection with the outer world, as we know the ninth house denotes. Much more on Abraham Lincoln again at the end of the series. Finally, a much awaited chart of Adolf Hitler. This man always fascinates me. Personal favorite chart, because to know what made a person tick, because he had annihilated single-handedly 30 million people in a matter of 13 years from the face of this earth. Not a small feat by any chance. So, this chart has been a fascination. Ninth house here for Adolf Hitler is Gemini, the house of speech, the house of communication, and ace orator who knew how to influence minds. He had very strong beliefs about the Aryan race. Anything that was not an Aryan race, that was not pure, had to be wiped out, because it sullified the blood of the Aryans. That was his persona, that was his belief, a belief that he has inculcated over a period of time, seeing the atmosphere at from very young age at home, also in general what Europe had to offer during Adolf Hitler's formative age. He became the dictator of Germany in 1933. He retained power until 1945. He gained political character and purpose in World War I, and he was appointed the Chancellor in January 1930, and he quickly rose to power, becoming Führer of the resurgent National Social Party by the fall of 1931. He became the Reich Chancellor, his first political office, in 1933, and by 1939 overran Europe. His infamous dictatorship, lasting only for 13 years, created a permanent shift in the world politics and was directly responsible for the death of over 13 million people, as I had already stated earlier. He was married to a cousin of his just a day before. It is said that they have committed suicide just a day after getting married. He was so much into medicines. He considered himself all powerful, very suspicious in the mind, and also had no trust for anybody. He would kill people just. His stare was enough to get people shaking in their boots. He had an enormous persona, and he practiced his speech right down to the last T. It is said that he would stand in front of the mirror for hours together to get his speech correct. That was the one influencing factor on everybody around him. They loved him. They considered his word the law, and everything that he said was taken to be the truth. Now let us see what the ninth house entails. The ninth house entails phenomenal rise in life. We saw it all for all the three examples stated above. The strong religious beliefs, which may be self-developed, or personal philosophy, which is deeply rooted. Abraham Lincoln had strong beliefs in equal rights. He was the president who initiated the non-slavery movement. We've seen that Adam Douglas was an atheist, and Hitler's very strong points on religion, on his hatred for other religions, and the supremacy of the Aryan race was never a hidden fact from anybody. They lived a very quiet and a frugal life, and that can be read about in all the three examples as I have stated above. Foreign influences can be seen, can be understood, whether a like for it or a dislike for it. A very strong mystic outlook, a need to connect with either religion, or if Rahu is operating on a very high level, then the world of mysticism, the world of the dead, the universal powers, also connection to them can be seen. When Rahu is working on lower octave, a high amount of manipulations can be understood and seen. And when Rahu moves into a higher spiritual octave, we can see that it resonates to a self-righteous, and the need to do good to everybody around also can be understood. This position of Rahu gives them a great ability as an orator. Adam Douglas actually captivated people with his wit, with his writing, and so did Hitler. Abraham Lincoln is said to have made his speeches right in the right time, in the right phrase, and at the right place. So Rahu in the ninth house gives us a need to have a strong belief, personal belief system, or a psychological system which lasts a person through the lifetime and forms the basis for the person. Rahu in the ninth house could also play havoc with one's marital life. However, the three examples stated above did have their own inhibitions about getting married in the first place, but when they did, they continued, lived it to the lifetime. So, Rahu in the ninth house can give you little issues pre-engagement, post-engagement, but if you're married, you stay married for long. This can be a part of our research. Till we meet again, may the stars keep us safe, may they hold us strong. Till then, have a nice day.